Hi, my name is Sava Stoyanov, and this is the third episode of EU in 2. We've seen what the EU would look like if it were a proper federal state. Now let's take the opposite approach. What would be missing if the EU was nothing more than an international organization? If you thought of this series, you're probably correct. Simple organizations are way less confusing than the EU. They're leaner, meaner, and usually focus on just a few things. Oh, and they have a lot to do with pirates. Let's take the United Nations. It has a simple power structure. Its budget is minuscule, especially given the fact that it's the closest thing we've got to a world government. It does have many agencies like UNESCO and UNICEF, and yet in practice its impact in most countries is barely visible. Also, crucially, it's based entirely on international law. What this means is that it can't really enforce any of its decisions. It's up to the member states to comply, or not. Obviously, this is far from what any government would want for itself. Now, let's imagine the EU was simply an international organization. It would be entirely based on international treaties, kinda like it is right now, and it would have a narrow focus, maybe just facilitating trade. Its governing body would be small, constrained, and unable to properly enforce its decisions, and it wouldn't change the legal systems of its member states. Really, it would be barely visible outside of its headquarters, which nobody could ever think of calling a capital. And finally, it would live and die by the governments of its member states. Or, as we summed it up in episode 1, it would be just a brunch between sovereign states. Now, consider both this and the robust federal state from last episode. Clearly, the EU right now is neither. And until it becomes one, or the other, European scholars will continue arguing with each other. And I think we can all agree that's a good thing. Oh, and the pirates? It's just that so much of international law exists only because of them. Seriously, look it up. Nos vemos. EU in 2 is produced in the American University in Bulgaria by Elsa Kelmendi and myself. Our senior advisor is Laura Kelly, and I'm Sava Stoyanov. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Thank you for listening.